Hi and welcome to Projects 360. This video is about transferring product to a work order and creating an invoice from a work order, and mainly creating the transfer from the product request page. So as we discussed, you can create a transfer from a warehouse, but on the product request page, to fulfill it and finish it, so after you've received and allocated and went through the process and everything's allocated to the product you need, the product that has been fulfilled basically has the product allocated. You can select. In this case, I got both the Leon and the Sanus bracket that has allocation. So I can go to the cog then once I highlight those and go to fulfill request. Once I click on that, it basically just takes you into like creating a regular transfer. You can hit auto generate, you can type in a name just like before, you can select your destination warehouse, you can associate the work order. So make sure the work order is created beforehand because you need that to associate it to. Hit OK, and it then pulls it onto the product request because now we fulfilled it. And if we go into that warehouse, so in this case van 1, we can go from the dashboard here to incoming transfers, and we can see the incoming transfer 23. Click on it, review it to make sure everything's correct, and if it is, just like a regular transfer, accept it. And if it wasn't ever brought into this warehouse before, it's going to ask you what bin, what location you want to put it in. So you can select a location right here and hit OK. And that will finalize that transfer. Then you can go to your work orders, and in your work orders, we can go, search for that work order that we put it to, which was work order 21 right here. So we can click on that. And now in the work orders, we have more features to add to the line items, if you recall. So we have everything we had before. So if you hit the plus symbol, you can still select from a proposal item, from the product manager, from one of your checklists. You can still manually type in things. But now you can also bring items in from a transfer and from the various warehouses you have. And these will be inventory pieces. So up on top here are all non-inventory pieces. And then from inventory transfer and below are all inventory pieces. So I'm going to select inventory transfer. It'll show all the transfers because you can have multiple transfers coming into a work order also. And you can select it and hit OK. And it'll bring everything that's on that transfer into the work order, and including the serial number if it's a serial number piece. You can then, your technicians, as they're delivering things, they can check things off right here, and a box will pop up and it'll show this will mark the product installed and move it to the client's location. Are you sure you want to do this? Basically, this is the final step to delivering it to the client and taking it out of that van inventory. They'll hit OK. And now that'll be marked green, and they can't uncheck it. So if they don't deliver anything, don't check it off, and then you can send it back to the warehouse if it wasn't needed. I'm going to check this one off, hit OK, and basically that delivered everything that was on this work order. Also, you can still create invoices from a work order. So if this was maybe a service call, and the guys use some parts, so they can have some parts that they listed here on the work order that maybe haven't been charged yet. Because obviously for a proposal, everything's being billed from the proposal. But if this was a service work order, they can hit the plus symbol and it'll create the invoice like normal. You still have the clock here to add the labor. But now you can we've added some enhancements for products. So you hit the plus symbol, you can select where you want to bring product in. So now some new things that we have are from the work order and from various warehouses. So again, you can select work order. It defaults, if you're creating it from a work order to that work order. You can still change it if you need to, but we do have it default to that. You can then select the items you want to bring over to the invoice and hit OK. And it brings over the items along with the pricing now. So the service technicians don't even need to know the pricing. And like I mentioned, they can even bring, if they used some parts, if they're on a service call and they just use some parts from their van, they can select the warehouse and it'll only show the product that's available on that warehouse, and they can select that and they can put it in. If they don't want to add labor, just go to the drop down and go no labor, so it won't add the labor associated with that product. And they can add that to the invoice. If it's a serial track device, it'll ask you to select the serial number. So if you have multiple on there, you can select the serial number. And that's how you deliver product via a work order or an invoice. Thank you and have a great day.